Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's Mr. BK Farmer. So I'm back with an update on those 3 clones that we had transplanted 2 weeks ago. And as you guys can see, these girls look a lot better than they did 2 weeks ago. And you can see a lot of the green started coming back in that new growth. You can see in the middle, there's a lot of new growth that started coming up to the top. All that new growth is nice and green. You can still see on the older growth right here, still have the deficiency. And one thing I noticed is that the older growth is not gonna go back to being nice lush green. So I know in the future I'm gonna be removing that big leaf right there with that deficiency. But as you guys can see, all this new growth at the top, everything is coming in nice and green. And remember, this one right here in the middle, that's the Tropicana cookie. And the ones on the outer right here on the right side, this one is the sour diesel. And the one right here on the left, this one right here is the sour diesel as well. So what I'm gonna be doing to these girls today is a little bit of training with my bud clips. And also, I'm gonna be feeding these girls because I can see that they're asking for some food right now. So as you guys can see, I have 3 cups right here. And in each one of these cups, I got about 6 tablespoons of the all-purpose 444. And that's 2 tablespoons per gallon. And remember, these is 3-gallon pots. So in each pot, I'm gonna give 2 tablespoons per gallon. This is why you see 3 cups right here. And I have my half a cup little container right here. And I'm gonna be using this to add 1 cup of worm castings. And remember, these girls been growing for about 7, maybe 6 or 7 weeks now. So I'll probably give these girls about 2 more weeks before I flip them into flower. But I want to finish filling this tin out. I want to get a nice full canopy in here. And I want to give this middle growth right here on this Tropicana cookie a little bit more time to catch up to the rest of these tops right here. Because remember, you can see all 4 of these tops right here is a lot taller than that middle growth. So I'm gonna give that middle growth a lot more time to catch up. And what we're gonna be doing today is training all these tall branches back down to the height of that middle growth. And I'm gonna do the same thing to the sour diesel on the ones on the left and the right. I'm gonna do some training to both of those as well. So the first thing we're gonna be doing is training all these girls back down with some of these bud clips. And remember, like I told y'all 2 weeks ago, these bud clips is a game changer. You could get a lot more growth using these bud clips. A lot of these tops start to come up once you start bending these branches down. So right now, that's what I'm gonna be doing. That's the first thing I'm gonna be doing is training these girls back down. And then we're gonna give these girls some food. So I'm gonna give each pot 2 tablespoons per gallon. And I'm gonna give each pot 1 cup of the worm castings. And these girls should be good from there until it's time to flip the flower. And remember, for that flower stage, I use the 484 and the same thing, some worm castings. And I probably use some seabird guano and late flower. But right now, we're gonna start training these girls. So let me give you guys a good view. And like I said, I wanna give you guys from start to finish when it comes down to this training. So you see how I got that full canopy inside that 3x3. I want you guys to see the full process of what I do so you can see exactly how I get this canopy nice and full like this. So let me give you guys a good view and then we're gonna start training this girl. So right now, we're gonna start training this girl down. And like I said, I use my bud clips and I'm gonna start with this branch right here so I can bring it down to the canopy, the sides of the canopy of the rest of them, and we're gonna finish working on the rest of these plants. So let me just give you guys a close-up. All right, so we're gonna start with this branch right here. Like I said, I usually like to work it so I don't break the branch. So make it nice and loose. Trying to bring it all the way down. And then I'm just gonna add my bud clip. And I'm actually gonna put it in on this side. Just to bring this girl right back down. yeah. So that's one branch bent down. So I'm gonna work on this next branch, and you can already see how it's starting to level out with this branch and the rest of them. So I'm actually gonna do the same thing to this branch. I'm gonna add another bud clip. Work this way. I'm just gonna add another bud clip right here, as you guys can see. Bend it right under there. And now that's gonna come right back up and hopefully reach the height of those. As these girls start to, as these middle branches start to catch up, everybody can start meeting up. So I'm actually gonna do it to the rest of these branches as well. Gonna bend the rest of these branches down. So I got this one right here. I'm gonna bend this one this way. I'm just gonna put this one, actually, I'll put this right under here. And like I said, these plants is really flexible, especially when they need water. That's why I didn't water them yet, because if these girls had enough water, these stems would have been nice and tough. You won't even be able to bend them down. So, bend that one that way. Now we're gonna bend this one. I'm gonna bend this one straight back. And I'm gonna add this bud clip right here, right beneath this node. Just to allow those tops to catch up. And these gonna come right back up. So, as you guys can see, I trained this Tropicana cookie down, and I only actually trained the 4 tall branches. I'm gonna leave all that middle growth to catch up. So once these branches come back up, if they still taller than that middle growth, I'm gonna train them girls right back down. These 4 branches that I just trained down, I'm gonna train them right back down if they still tall as this middle growth. But I'm gonna start training this sour diesel next, because I wanna fill this canopy out. I wanna fill the whole canopy out. So give me a minute, yeah. Just wanna fix this camera up. So I'm actually gonna do the same thing to the sour diesel. So you see this long branch right here. I'm gonna take it right here. And you see this node? I'm gonna put this bud clip right beneath that node. I'm gonna bring it around this way. Right beneath the node. And I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna bend it right under here. And boom, you can see that the rest of this growth down here is gonna start working its way back up. And this branch as well is gonna become a whole new top. And all the tall branches, I'm actually gonna do that too. I'm gonna do it to this one as well, just to meet the canopy. Reach the height of the rest of the canopy. And then this one as well. I'm trying to widen this whole canopy out. We trying to fill this whole 2x4 tent up. So I'm gonna train all these branches back down. This one as well. I'm gonna take this bud clip. Train that branch back down. There's another branch right here. I'm gonna take this bud clip, put it right beneath this node. Hopefully you guys can see. Put it right beneath this node. Bring that girl that way. Same thing with this branch. I'm gonna bring it into this spot right here. So as this start coming up and start reaching out, I'm gonna start bringing it out this way. Take another bud clip. I'm gonna work this branch down as well. And as you guys can see, everybody is nice and trained down. And you notice I didn't take this one down because this one right here, it was shorter than this branch right here. So I'm gonna leave that one because they all should be the same height once they start catching up. But as you can see, once you tuck, a lot of the middle growth start to come up. Tuck a few leaves. A lot of that middle growth starting to expose itself. So I'm actually gonna do the same thing to this one. So I'm gonna train this plant right here as well. Get this canopy nice and widened, and then we're gonna start top dressing these girls. So let me train this last plant, and I'm gonna show you what these girls is looking like. Give me a minute, y'all. Okay, y'all, so as you can see, I got everybody nice and trained down. So I'm looking to get these girls nice and even, just like the girls inside that 3x3 tent. You see how everybody is nice and even. All the top growth is nice and even in that 3x3. I'm trying to get this 2x4 tent the same exact way. So I'm gonna let all this new growth continue to start growing up. You can see all that new growth in the middle. Everybody is looking nice and green. Remember, all that older growth at the bottom, that growth is gonna eventually die off. So I'm gonna be removing that soon. That's not gonna be coming back to being green again. So all the top growth is looking nice and healthy. So right now, I'm just gonna be top dressing these girls. And remember, like I said, I used the all-purpose 444 and I used the worm castings. So that's what we're gonna be doing now. I'm gonna start top dressing these girls. So let me give you guys a nice view. One moment. All right, y'all, so like I said, I got 2 tablespoons per gallon out of 444. So in this cup, I got 6 tablespoons out of all-purpose 444. And remember, I got 3-gallon pots. So that's what I'm gonna be feeding these girls today. So I'm gonna loosen up the soil a little bit. And like I told y'all before, I think I put a little bit too much soil, but we're gonna make it work. As long as these girls get that feeding, that's all that matters. So I'm gonna loosen the soil up a little bit. And I'll open up my worm castings. And remember, like I told you guys, I used the wiggly worm castings. And this right here is just a good source of microbes and nutrients, all the nutrients that your plant gonna love right now. So that's what I'm gonna be feeding these girls, the 6 tablespoons of the all-purpose 444 in each pot. And I'm gonna give them 1 cup of the worm castings. So let me add this. And all this old growth at the bottom, I'm gonna remove this as well, because everything is gonna be dying off and I don't wanna cause no problems under here. So I'm gonna do that first thing first. And let me get some worm castings. So like I said, I'm gonna put about 1 cup of worm castings in there. So right here, I got about half a cup. And that's all this girl gonna get. I'm gonna mix this all up in there. Definitely put a little too much soil. But I was thinking about transplanting this girl into a 5-gallon pot. I just wanna give a little bit more room on the top. So I was thinking about transplanting this girl into a 5-gallon pot. But I'm gonna let these girls get nice and healthy before I do any of that. Because right now, I can tell that these girls are still asking for a lot of food. So I'm gonna massage this into the topsoil. And then I'm gonna add some water to this girl. I just wanna mix this in there nice and well. But I definitely put a little too much soil in here. So I got that nice and mixed up. All up in the topsoil. So what I'm gonna do is feed the rest of these girls, and then we're gonna give them some water. So let me give you guys a better view under here so you can see. So like I said, I got 6 tablespoons of the 444 from Down to Earth. And let me loosen up this soil as well. So I'm gonna loosen up this top soil on this plant as well, just to make it a little bit more easier for me to mix that in. And I can tell that this plant is already beginning to fill its pot up with all those roots. Because as I look at the bottom, you can see the drainage holes. I can see a lot of the roots are starting to come out from there. So I'm gonna add some of this nutrients. And like I said, I'm gonna add 1 cup. Of the worm castings. And this right here should bring these girls right back to life. Mix this up in this topsoil. Man, I put a little bit too much soil in these pots. But like I said, I think I'm gonna transplant all these girls into a 5-gallon. I might just transplant these girls into a 5-gallon. Because these pots. Okay, y'all. I got it all cleaned up in here. We got everybody nice and trained down with the bud clips. And remember, we had just top dressed these girls with the all-purpose 444 and the worm castings. And remember, I gave each pot 2 tablespoons per gallon. Remember, I'm in 3-gallon pots, so that's 6 tablespoons in each one of these pots. And I gave each pot 1 liter of water. And as you can see, the top of the soil is nice and saturated on all 3 plants. And I just want to give you guys a look at all the training that was done. We bent all 4 of those tall branches down so we can allow all this middle growth right here to come back up. Man, these ladies is looking good, y'all. Remember like I told y'all 2 weeks ago, the top growth gonna look a lot better once they get a taste of that new soil. So, as you can see on this sour diesel as well, we bent a lot of them branches down with the bud clips. A lot of them branches is gonna start coming right back up to reach towards that light. And I'm gonna start bending the tallest ones right back down so they could be nice and even with the middle canopy. As you guys can see on this one too. On this sour diesel, we trained all those taller tops down. Like I said, when they come back up, I'm gonna train them right back down to meet the height with the middle. Like I said, y'all, I'm trying to fill this whole tin up. Remember, this is the 2x4. I'm gonna give you guys an update on the 3x3. Remember, I got 4 clones in there that's in the week 5 of the flower stage. And man, those girls is looking good. You know, that aroma is starting to come out of that tent. So, you know, we getting real close to that ripening stage. But those girls got about 3 to 4 more weeks to go. But I'm gonna give you guys the next update on these girls in the next week. I just wanted to feed these girls right now. And and honestly, I'm probably like a week late on feeding these girls, but I just wanted to wait until I could bring you guys that video of the top dressing. That's like the only reason why I'm a little late with feeding these girls. But as long as I bring you guys those updates, that's all I'm happy about. And as you guys can see, I added my little fan back in here. This is just a USB fan. You can actually charge it. It don't last that long, but if you keep it plugged in, it'll stay on. And just stay tuned, y'all, for next week update. These girls is gonna be looking really, really good next week, y'all. Hopefully I can fill this whole 10 up in the next 2 weeks, because I really want to flip these girls into the flower stage. But just stay tuned, y'all, for the next update, and I'm gonna keep y'all posted. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, y'all. It's Mr. BK Farmer.